So I was coming up with ideas in my head because I was tired of getting fed content on YouTube and just absorbing without actually generating anything for myself. Not that I don't generate creative potential into this world regularly, but I've also been consuming a lot. So I wanted to change that and try essentially coming up with an idea on the spot. So I turned off YouTube, or I wasn't even watching YouTube, I just didn't even have it on, and I was like, okay, let me just come up with an idea. I was like I just want to think of something cool. I'm like, God, like, what? How do I think of something cool? I don't even know where to begin, what to think. And then I was like, whoa, okay, I don't know. Let me think. Like, and then I was just like, blue donkeys, or I was just like, blue donkeys and meow. Like, I just thought of those three concepts, blue, donkey, and meow. And then I was like, I was like, so maybe are the donkeys blue, and then are they meowing? And then I was like, well, wait. So, like, why are the donkeys meowing? Is this, like, some kind of world where, like, donkeys somehow morphed into this cat hybrid where, like, they sound like a cat, but they're a donkey? Or have cats, like, somehow gotten inside donkeys and are, like, controlling them from the inside and, like, meowing? Or is there some kind of, like, digital talk box that has been for some reason placed inside all donkeys that makes them meow? Or abandoning that idea altogether, are donkeys and cats just friends in this universe, in this dimension, this realm? And they got along, they built a culture together. They've built a whole society together. It's donkeys and cats trading goods and meowing and yeah, and there's a lot of the color blue for some reason. So that was like my first sort of idea spurt, think tank idea spurt. And then I was like, well, let me try again. Let me try something else. And then I was like, immediately I thought like pirates. And I was like, okay, I always think of pirates. I don't know why, but okay, pirates. And then I was like, SpongeBob. And I was like, I think I got that from like, wait. Who lives in a pineapple? Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Like, I don't know how to do that voice. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Who lives in a pineapple under... I can't do it, but whatever. You know what I'm talking about, like the intro. And then, like, like that guy's a pirate. So I thought, okay, whatever. So pirates, SpongeBob, and then I was like doodling. And I think I got that from like Doodle Bob, you know, one of the characters in one of the episodes of SpongeBob. And then I came up with this idea, what comes next, what I'll tell you right now. And it's, I don't know. Okay, so the idea is basically that SpongeBob came across Doodle Bob one day, and I was like, well, really how it went, well, I did the same process where I was like, you know, doing different combinations of those three concepts, SpongeBob, dueling, or Doodle Bob, and pirates. And I was like, well, wait, are SpongeBob and Doodle Bob pirates? Or is like maybe Doodle Bob's a pirate and he's trying to get SpongeBob to be a pirate? Or is SpongeBob a pirate? Or like, did they meet some pirates? Or like, what's the scenario here? Or are they like, maybe they're pirating, and then that's what ended up spurring the whole idea, is that like they're actually pirating digital music files. Like they go on the hunt to find sort of like rare music files online. And so the idea is that SpongeBob came across Doodle Bob one day at Doodle Bob's house, wherever that is. I feel like he has some kind of like crayon house, or like some kind of like, you know, like drawn house, like doodle house. He comes into his house and he finds Doodle Bob. Doodle Bob's like, meh! And like, he's like, you know, like basically he finds Doodle Bob like kind of sneaking, because like Doodle Bob is pirating music files. He catches Doodlebob pirating music files, and so then SpongeBob is like, he's like, what? He's like, Doodlebob, that's not right. What are you doing? What are you like? He's like, what are you doing? And Doodlebob's like, pirate or whatever. Like basically, SpongeBob comes to find out that Doodlebob is pirating these music files, and SpongeBob, you know, SpongeBob typically is a pretty good guy, right? Like SpongeBob, he's a good citizen. He's a merry, happy man. He's a merry, happy guy, friendly dude, right? And so then when he comes across Doodlebob doing this bad thing, he's like, you know, at first he's flustered and he's like you know, like doesn't know what to do. But then Doodlebob shows him what he's doing with this pirated music, and he shows him how he's like remixing it. He's taking it and he's doing what like Nujabes does, which is like cut it up and like turn it into a beat, puts it into the backbeat, or puts a backbeat behind it, you know, like these kind of music file things. He remixes it so that, you know, and he's borrowing. He's like, I'm not taking, I'm just borrowing it, and I'm like making it my own. Especially like, oh. And then when SpongeBob hears the beats that Doodlebob is making, he's like, hot damn, okay, so like, I can't do it in this SpongeBob like sort of like personality. He's like, but he's like, you know, SpongeBob gets into it, you know. And this is like a new side to SpongeBob. We've never seen this side of SpongeBob before. But basically, like, so then him and Doodlebob, they start cooking up these beats, these rehashed beats of pirated music files. And they basically create their own, like, exclusive club. And so, like, they start playing these, like, really, like, they go through several stages, like, several phases in their, like, this whole thing is a phase, right? These, like, you know, pirating and being, like, this, like, producer DJ guy duo, because it's him and Doodlebob, Bob and Doodlebob, cooking up the beats. And then, but, like, there's several stages. So, like, the first stage, I don't know, like, I don't know what all the stages are, but like at one point they're probably doing like synthwave, and then they get into like the vaporwave genre, or like mall soft, you know, like those really obscure genres. That's like later on. But like in the beginning, they're just doing these like funky beats that are like boom 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 boom. And so like they're doing it, they have this exclusive club that they're playing these beats at, and they're actually getting a lot of attention. And SpongeBob is like, he's loving the attention. Like he loves this. This is like a new, like I said, this is a new side of SpongeBob. This is a new phase. And so like it just progressively gets more and more exclusive. Like they keep on stacking the prices. They like keep on stacking the prices to entry to get in, so they become more and more VIP exclusive clubs. And SpongeBob, like all the while, he's getting progressively cooler and cooler. Like he becomes a more and more like desirable person, like someone you really want to get to know, you know, like so exclusive, so like hard to see, you know. He's a hard to see person, you know. He's so exclusive, and and the whole time, like the whole spur of the story, the thing that makes this whole thing work is that Squidward is like it's like kind of like a rehash of the Imagination episode, where like SpongeBob and Patrick, they're in the imagination box and they're like creating like incredible imagination worlds inside the box, and Squidward is like, he's like, what are you guys doing in that box? And like he didn't believe in imagination, but then he's like, I need to know like what you guys are doing in that box. So like that's like this, it's like the same energy in this episode, where like Squidward is like, he's trying so hard to like get into these exclusive clubs, but he doesn't have a lot of money.
But he's like so curious. He's like, what is SpongeBob doing right that I'm not doing right? Because his whole thing is like clarinets, right? And like, you know, he wanted to be a loved musician. SpongeBob's finally becoming that. And he's like, but it's like, you know, like, it's not Squidward, right? So Squidward's all like peeved about it, you know. He's like, what does SpongeBob have that I don't have? What does SpongeBob Doodlebob duo have that I don't? And so like Sponge and Doodlebob, they like DJ like on like, you know, on the stage, and they're just going whack. They're just like, they're really getting snazzy with their movements. Like they're going 5D, you know, like they're going 5D consciousness. Like they're just, you know, like boom boom, and then like they have like a jazz phase, like mini phase within the whole phase, where like they like it gets more and more exclusive, because like the taste, like the SpongeBob's taste for prime aesthetic just goes higher and higher and higher, and like he just becomes so like royal. He becomes like royalty, and then the whole, everyone's just following what SpongeBob is doing, like what SpongeBob likes at the moment. That's just, everyone wants to listen to that, and so that's what he plays, and that's what everyone listens. And so too, and like, and they continue to pirate stuff and stuff, and like, and also make their own stuff too, probably. I don't know, but and so like Squidward's like, what? He's like, why can't I get in? He's like, and like Patrick becomes the bouncer at one point. He's like, no, you can't get in. This is SpongeBob Doodlebob VIP only. You're not invited, Squidward. Like, and Squidward's like, he's like, what do I have to do to get in? He's like, I don't know, like $10,000 for a ticket or something. I don't know. And like, or you have to appease the Sponge Doodle duo with a music file that they would like to pirate and use in their sets. And so I don't know, but like, and then they get into like where like SpongeBob and Doodlebob, they hire people to like, they get to a certain point where they're so famous and so exclusive that like they have the money to like hire a bunch of like workers for them that basically like scour the internet and like all parts of the world, even the physical, like, I don't know, physical copies, like records and stuff or tapes. They just scour everywhere for like the most prime aesthetic, like the absolute best music possible, like these things that can be turned into great loops, you know, and cut up to become great remixes. And they just do it according to SpongeBob's current aesthetic leaning, because SpongeBob, he's always like changing his aesthetic, and it's becoming more and more like refined. And so like SpongeBob, he becomes very hard to appease. So anyways, this was my idea, and like, I don't know, I just loved it. It just gave me a giggle. So yeah, I hope you got something from that, and yeah, peace.